This Children's Hospital moment is brought to you by Great Clips, Disaster Restoration Services, and Levin Furniture. Belle and Betty June Daly were both adopted from China, and both have been treated at Children's for different forms of thalassemia. Their mother, Jamie, explains.
Isabel is 10 years old now. She was 19 months old when we adopted her from China. We suspected she had thalassemia. We didn't know what kind. When we finally got her home, we came to Children's and saw Dr. Krishnamurti, who did the genetic testing and identified that she had beta thalassemia major, which means that her bone marrow just doesn't make red blood cells. And the red blood cells it does make are ineffective. They just don't work. So she receives blood transfusions every 3 weeks.
After the success they had at Children's treating Belle, the family had the confidence to adopt another child in need in 2013.
This beautiful little 6-year-old face came across my computer screen. It was soon to be Betty June. And she also had thalassemia. She was in China. She was very sick and she needed a family. And we knew that with Children's Hospital of Pittsburgh, we were in a wonderful position to bring her home and into our family. So not even a year and a half later, I went back to China and brought Betty June home, who is now 14. She was 7 when we adopted her. We got off the plane, spent the night at home. The next day we came to Children's and began her treatment.
What does this mean for the two of them long term?
Long term. Okay, so since they have different forms, it took different paths. Belle will receive blood transfusions at least every 3 weeks, possibly every 2 weeks as she gets older, for the rest of her life until we decide to walk the path of genetic therapy. This month, the FDA is set to approve one form of gene therapy from Bluebird Bio. So at some point, she can be treated and she will be transfusion-free. So that's where we are with Belle.
Betty June had a severe hemolytic reaction that prompted the removal of her spleen. After surgery, her prospects changed a little.
Her body is making hemoglobin. It's not great hemoglobin, but it's adequate. It's not great. She'll never be a cross-country runner. She'll never be an endurance athlete, but she can be a doctor, which is what her mother wants.
How was your experience at Children's?
There are not enough good words. Dr. Krishnamurti, Dr. Hillary, all of our nurses on 9C. We had a tremendous physician's assistant named Mike Talada that I, to this day, say he saved Betty June's life when she had her hemolytic reaction. So I have nothing but high praise for Children's Hospital of Pittsburgh.
What would you say to somebody who was thinking about making a donation?
Do it every day of the week and twice on Sunday, because you are never going to see a greater return for any money you spend than in the eyes of a child that has been given not just life-saving treatment. That's a given, okay? We're talking about the whole experience of being a patient at Children's Hospital. The people make the difference. We've been inpatient in Philadelphia, and we have been to other emergency rooms, and I can tell you that nothing compares to coming to Children's.
This is Craig Wolfley. Join me in supporting Children's Hospital by calling 412-692-8900.